Hey, so I don't go live, for 3 weeks, and all of a sudden I go live twice in one night. But I'm watching yesterday's Trump interview with Dan Bongino, and Trump. The thing about him, he's really, you could see the humanity in him. I was thinking about a Patrick Ben David quote in his Trump interview yesterday. He said that the relationship of young men with their fathers is that when the first phase with your father is you idolize him. The second phase is you demonize him, and the third phase is you humanize him. What's interesting about the intense social media presence, apart from the Trump stump speeches, is the humanizing. If you just watch one flippin' interview, you people that hate him, you Christian nut jobs that think he's dangerous, if I give enough credit to even my enemies, that if they would just listen to an interview with him sitting down talking like the guy he is, you would move from demonizing to humanizing that fast. You may not like his strategies. You may not like his, but who he is in person. This is the Trump I know, people know, who are conversational in his world. But he says stuff because he'll say stuff that'll freak people out. And he does it here. Stuff that you don't normally hear about the cell phones of his shooters and why the FBI refuses to investigate who's working with the shooters. I'm a little worked up right now because I can't believe what I'm listening to, and I can't believe I'm only hearing it now. And I got to hear it from Donald Trump, not from anyone else. All right, let me see if I can fix this thing here.
When I ran, you think everything's peachy-dory, but it's a nasty business. One thing I would like to do is the first shooter, which they say was a miracle. I mean, it's lucky I moved to the right, but if I didn't turn to the right, over immigration. See, I got saved over illegal immigration, the chart, my all-time favorite chart. But the first shooter had 3 apps, and 2 of them, they say, were foreign-based.
Listen.
And they haven't opened those apps, and I wonder why the FBI hasn't done that. The second shooter had six cell phones. Now, who has 6 cell phones? Have you ever heard of anyone? I have 2, but who has 6 cell phones? And you would think that they'd want those opened, and they haven't opened them. And they can open them, and I guarantee they opened them for January 6th. All those guys got their cells opened. So why aren't they opening? So I do ask that question.
You hear that?
Why isn't the FBI opening up those phones? Yeah. And they're foreign. It looks like they're foreign-based. So you never know, where these people are coming from. They may look innocent, like, they're nice country boys, but they may not be. So I'd like to see them open that up and fast, and then get down to the bottom of it.
I suspect there's probably some foreign connections there. And candidly, I don't.
It looks it, doesn't it? Though?
Yeah, I just don't trust the FBI.
Given
their experience.
I understand that.
It's not like we're basing this off some hypothetical. They spied on your campaign. You have the names of the spies. I mean, I wrote 3 books on it. I mean, it's not. I cited left-wing sources in the books. Let me ask you.
They actually spied on my campaign. And then they go after the people that went after the spies, right? And they spied on my campaign. And if you look, it was Biden and Obama and their group of people. Yeah. And the deep state, they wanted that forgotten as quickly as possible. The fake news media, they hate to cover it. And when you say they spied on my campaign, they go, well, No, they actually spied on my campaign. We have it all, so we'll see.
Leslie Stahl said
I don't think any...
So at 60 Minutes, so it didn't happen.
Yeah.
She's a very credible
Leslie Stahl. And she never gave me an apology.
No.
And David Muir didn't give me... When I said crime is rampant, he said, no, crime has gone down.
Right.
And he said the FBI
right.
told him, I said, well, the FBI, it's a fraudulent report because they didn't include the worst cities.
You saw the FBI correction?
They corrected, yeah.
They had to say, oh, yeah, there were 1,699 more. How do you miss a murder?
They go,
the guy's dead.
That's right.
How do you miss a murder?
They go, let's include a few other cities like the worst cities, right? No, it's very sad what's happening with the FBI.
You ever say to yourself,
All right, what I want you to catch there, I can hardly, it's mesmerizing. I can hardly stop looking at it and saying to myself, oh my God. So the deal is 6 cell phones. Did you hear that? I didn't hear anybody talk about 6 flipping cell phones with the guy who was shooting them in the golf course. Of course the guy's working with other countries. And a kid, 20 years old, 19 years old, with encrypted cell phones that the FBI hasn't hacked. And then Trump said something very interesting. I don't know if you caught it. He said they got into all the encrypted phones of the January 6th suspects because they were looking for evidence. But the FBI can't seem to crack or isn't advancing and isn't even moving on these other phones. And you wonder why we are justifiably saying these people are a regime under a demonic spirit as certain as the Stasi in East Germany or the Soviets under Stalin. It's the deep state. It's the Brennan. Can't believe that sleazy former CIA director who lied about Hunter Biden's laptop, lied about Russian collusion, is trotting around on TV now saying that Trump is ready to steal the election again with Vladimir Putin and Russia. So that he's bringing up Russia. Where is the chutzpah? And I'll tell you what the problem is. We don't have enough SNL comedians, funny, edgy, conservative artists that are providing the content. Thank God for Babylon Bee. I mean, we got things now we never had 5 years ago. Daily Wire, am I a racist? But in terms of content, we ought to be like putting it out there because we've got the people. The nation knows we're right. The nation knows this guy should not be locked up after this election. That man should not be put in prison. I'll tell you what. All that it takes is clear perception of how unreasonable, how sold to do evil that wineskin is, that system, that is that swamp in Washington. And the people, they fear the people. The reason why they freaked out at January 6th, the majority of those people, as Trump said, were gun owners. If they were an insurrection mob, they knew how to handle guns. The majority of them handled guns, but they weren't going to go there. Why? Because there wasn't about violence. They had to be set up, open the doors, come on in. I'm talking about all those folks that have been locked up, and then the Supreme Court basically makes a decision that says that no, this is, and they're still locked up in prison, even though the Supreme Court had issued a decision that should release them from that. 4 years has it been already? No, it's going to be worked out. I believe the prayers of the saints are sufficiently ascending to make an impact. I announced earlier, and I don't want anybody to miss this, I'm going to have a party with the partners that have been with me since the beginning, because we're getting in some interesting waters now. The press is all worried about what is my involvement with the political process. They're scared to death that the radical fringe Christian movement is going to suddenly show up with what they think is 30 million of us in the political process. They're like paranoid. I think it's demons in them that fear that God's going to rise up in his people with a great awakening populist movement that's going to start to get involved with all the corruption in the high places, starting in school systems, local, and you're going to see the cleanup happening around certain red state areas. And it's going to push out all the way to the halls of Congress. And Trump will welcome reformation. He's capable of being a Martin Luther or a Samson that brings the Philistine house down. And I think they're afraid of him. go to lancewallnau.com/partner party and come out and hang out with me for a night and a day. We're going to have dinner together on the 8th of November after the election. We're going to have a prophetic party. I'm going to invite some of my friends down here. Join me. And the evening of the 8th, we're going to hang out on the 9th. And we're going to do, it's only like 200, 250 people. I just thought of having a party to bring in the post-election new year and kind of prophesy what is God calling us to do in the next 12 months. I want the folks that are my friends to hear first what I think's happening. Anyway, I just wanted you to catch that Trump segment right there because it's so wild. What he said. He says that the January 6 people that were locked up are the same as the Japanese that were locked up by the United States during the Second World War. The great scandal, the great humiliation for our democracy was that we took American citizens who were Japanese and were so paranoid about not trusting anyone that wasn't like us that we locked them up, just like the government is doing with the January 6 people. They're paranoid with their own citizens because to them they're so alien to them because these elites are such globalists. They have no affection, no understanding of the passion and commitment of the average American to the preservation of this nation. But America's going to make it because the American people will make sure that it makes it. All right, lancewallnau.com/partner party. Get in there. I only have 200 seats. I got dinner already arranged for you guys and everything. I'll see you later. God bless you.